This part of Module 3 will discuss the relationship between energy and safety. Key topics include energy and safety systems, potential risks, and hazards for homeowners and assessors. We'll talk about safety from this perspective for the assessor and how to look out for yourself over the course of completing a home energy assessment, and we'll focus on the safety of homeowners and how to look out for their well-being while you're in their home. We'll also begin to discuss how to help them take actions to address safety problems. The leadership roles that we're focusing on will be the demonstration of empathy when visiting a home, and also sending clear messages to homeowners that we're really on their side and that we're looking out for them. Safety is an interesting topic because it can evoke some core values of homeowners. There are numerous safety hazards that can exist in a home and that we need to be mindful of. Our goal will be to help you spot some of the obvious ones and raise the awareness of homeowners in the process. An important concept to keep in mind as we conduct our energy assessments is called the precautionary principle. This states that if there is a suspected risk of causing harm, that it's our job to make sure we don't put people in harm's way through our actions and interventions. For example, making some recommendations for someone to do something in their home that we're not quite sure about could potentially create a hazard, and that's the last thing we would want to do. This is a very good principle to keep in mind for any type of community engagement project like the National Energy Leadership Corps. Everyone has the desire to feel safe in their home, and every person will connect with their home as a place where they can be safe, protect their family, and control their environment. Shelter and safety are among the most basic human needs, and when someone doesn't feel safe, it's pretty hard for them to think about anything else. If someone doesn't have a house to feel safe, it's going to be pretty hard for them to get excited about energy efficiency. Everyone has a desire to feel safe in their home, and almost every person will connect with their home as a place that they can feel safe, protect their family, and control their environment. Shelter and safety are among the most basic human needs, and when someone doesn't feel safe, it's pretty hard for them to think about anything else. If someone doesn't have a house that's in a safe condition, it's going to be hard for them to get excited about energy efficiency. At the same time, many of the systems that we're going to look at through an NELC assessment that are related to energy can also be connected to safety and health. By making a connection between these two issues, we can use the safety benefits of home improvements as a motivational tool to help homeowners take action in their home. Safety considerations are also valuable to help building a trusting relationship with homeowners because they can show that you're there to look out for them. Some of the servant leadership characteristics that this aims to cultivate in you are awareness, listening, empathy, and foresight. All of these traits are at the foresight of the immediate interaction between you and the homeowner. Your level of empathy and healing will demonstrate how you'd like to address these issues with the homeowner, and addressing them in a cordial and polite way, you'll be utilizing skills such as stewardship that will help them through potentially dangerous situations and ultimately demonstrate your commitment to the learning of homeowners by helping them recognize safety concerns in their own home. There are some significant safety hazards that exist in a home that might not be immediately recognized by occupants. In some cases, they might even be participating in putting some of their families at risk by some of their own activities. And even though that we're primarily energy assessors, we have a responsibility to identify any current or potential risks that we might come across through the course of looking for energy-saving opportunities. Many of the risks that are found in homes are directly related to energy systems. For example, cooking appliances and furnaces are actually some of the major causes of fires in homes. By inspecting them for their energy efficiency saving opportunities, we may also be able to detect potential fire hazards. Energy auditors and inspectors face some risks while they're conducting assessments. As we enter homes, we need to be vigilant about these types of dangers so we don't put ourselves in any risk. A general rule is to not do anything to put yourself at risk while you're conducting an assessment. One of the first things that you can do is to take some preemptive measures before the assessment to protect yourself and make sure that you have the right equipment, clothes, and protection. Another practice is to learn to see risky situations and not put yourself in them in the first place. It's also going to be a very important topic that you learn when it's best to do nothing or to end an assessment and actually get out of someone's house and then decide what the best thing to do would be to move forward. These can be some pretty bold moves to make on the fly, and we're going to spend some time talking about these different stations to equip you so that you'll know what to do. Another really important part of the assessment is to never be alone. The homeowner should always be with you as you're conducting the assessment. When you're alone, there are a number of risks that are increased, and because of this, the NELC requires you to keep homeowners with you during the assessment. Since the intention to engage all types of individuals of the NELC is our main goal, we can't expect you to be prepared for everything. For that reason, the process allows for you to be cautious and not take unnecessary risks. If you're in doubt about a safety of a situation, back off until you can get the advice about how to proceed. Let's break down some of the key hazards that you'll be exposed to as you conduct an assessment. We'll talk about the specific hazards, how you might spot them, and what actions you might take. As much as we hate to say it, there's always a possibility that you could be put in a situation where someone's upset or there's an argument and some kind of violence might be pending, or some form of behavior that just makes you feel uncomfortable. The best action to do here is to not be a hero, try not to get involved, leave the premise of the home, and alert authorities if you feel someone's in harm's way. You could easily bang your head crawling into a crawl space or an attic, and it'll be valuable in those tight conditions to wear a hard hat to protect yourself. You could also easily trip down cellar stairs or even across a simple threshold. It could also be due to clutter. Just take your time and watch your step. You could also expose yourself to inhaled particles like loose insulation, dirt, garbage, so a face mask and gloves will be helpful to protect yourself during the home energy assessment. We're going to talk about several types of electrical hazards, for example, knob and tube wiring, and it'll be important to trace the location of these, stay away from them, and make sure that we call attention of these electrical problems to a homeowner. Pets and infestation are also possible. For example, cats and mice might be making their home in a crawl space. These could present some hygienic risks, and again, a face mask and gloves will be handy to have, and make up some of the safety gear that we will be suggesting you take with you during an NELC home energy assessment. Overall, it's most important to be vigilant. You need to look out for yourself, and if you take care of yourself, you'll be in a better position to look out for others. Let's take a look at some categories of health risks that you might be looking for to protect homeowners. And we'll take a look at each hazard and how you might detect and also how you might take action. The risk of fire will be an important thing to spot. It could be in the form of electrical problem, bad wiring, a gas leak, or even just a risky practice. It'll be important to point these out to homeowners and help them take action. Moisture and mold can create health hazards and potentially risk long-term damage to the home, so being able to spot them is important. Noting the location and taking a picture will be very helpful in tracing the cause of that moisture and helping someone do something about it. Carbon dioxide buildup can happen in densely occupied rooms and overcrowded spaces that don't have good ventilation. This can have some harmful effects over a long period of time, and we'll be taking some time to examine what to do about it. Similarly, carbon monoxide is another hazard we'll be looking out for. This is typically a product of incomplete combustion, so anytime you're burning a fossil fuel, you have the potential for carbon monoxide to be given off. There are detection devices and ventilation systems that are intended to help deal with this. It'll be important to spot these and look if detectors are present, and if not, point that out to homeowners. Radon is also a potential hazard in some conditions. It's usually dealt with a simple ventilation system. If you're in a region that has known radon problems, it'll be important to take note to see if they have a radon system. Missing a potential energy-related hazard can result in pretty serious consequences. In 2005, a Penn State electrical engineering student was killed in an off-campus apartment. He was just 2 weeks away from graduating. After the fire, they inspected the home and found that it was caused by faulty knob and tube wiring. There was no smoke alarm or detector in the home, and there was not even any way for him to get out of the house if he would have been alerted to the fire. These are pretty easy things to spot, but unfortunately, no one did. There are hundreds of thousands of homes across the U.S. that have unsafe conditions like this. Missing a potential energy-related health hazard can result in pretty serious consequences. In 2005, a Penn State electrical engineering student was killed in an off-campus apartment fire. He was just 2 weeks away from graduating. When the home was inspected, they found it was caused by faulty knob and tube wiring. There was no smoke alarm on his floor, and there was not even a way for him to get out of the house if he had been alerted to the fire. These are all pretty easy things to spot, but unfortunately, no one did. There are hundreds of thousands of homes across the U.S. that have unsafe conditions like this. A key goal of the National Energy Leadership Corps is to help homeowners identify and fix safety hazards that may exist in their homes.